Welcome to February 10th through the 12th homework help for Bailey, Henderson, Jakovich, and Losi. Let's go ahead and take a look at Monday night's homework. Monday night's homework number 4. Sean is planning a 1,450-mile trip. He plans to drive between 250 and 300 miles each day. At this rate, what is a reasonable amount of days it will take Sean to complete his trip? Well, we know the answer has to be 1,450. And he's doing it each day. So that's the same thing as saying the number of miles times the number of days equals to the total miles. So the total is equal to the number of miles times the number of days. Okay, this problem has a low and it also has a high. Now the good thing about STAR tests is it's all multiple choice. So what I'm going to look at is I'm going to go ahead and look at my answer choices down here. And when I'm trying my answer choices, I might want to try the 300 because it has the 2 zeros in there. So it's going to make it easier. So if I'm looking at choice A and I'm going 300 times 9 days, 300 times 9. I can ignore the zeros. 9 times 3 is 27. Add my 2 zeros back on. That's 2,700. That is way too big. So my answer can't be at A at all. Okay? If 9 is too big, 12 is also probably way too big. Now if I look at 3, 3 might be way too low. So if I look at choice C, and I take my high mileage of 300, 300 times 3 days. Ignore the zeros. 3 times 3 is 9. How many zeros do I put back on? 2. Now remember, 300 was the high mileage. Right here, that was the high mileage per day. That is not going to be enough because he went 1,450. So C does not work. So the only answer it can be is B. So if I look at that, 300 times 5 days. 0, 0. 3 times 5 is 15. Good. It fits in between here. And the 250 times 5 will be the low, low, low end as long as it fits in between here. 5 times 0 is 0. 5 times 5 is 25. Carry your 2. 5 times 2 is 10 plus 2 is 12. So if I'm looking at a number line, 1,250 and 1,500, the total mileage that Sean's planning on driving, the 1,450 comes in between. So his total mileage of 1,450 comes in between. So my answer is B. Moving on, looking at number 5 on Tuesdays. What I have here is I have a triangle inside of a triangle. One's bigger and one's smaller. So this is definitely a proportion setup because I'm looking at 2 different things. So I'm going to set up my proportion table. The way I see it first, looking at my eyes, is I actually see, let me switch to highlighter so I can show you what I see. I see the big triangle first. I see the 6 and I see the 9. So I'm going to set this up. Let me switch back to my pen here. That I'm going to call the height. So I'm looking at it as height versus base. So the height of the first one is 6 and the base of the bottom one is 9. Okay. Let me switch to a different color highlighter here. So that means if I'm looking at the smaller triangle here, I'm missing the height and I got to figure out what the base is. Okay. The height is what I'm looking for. That's the brace. So I'm going to put an X there. I don't know what it is. Now, this side is also missing, but I can figure it out. The whole thing is 9 from the very bottom. The whole thing is 9, but I took off 5 of that. So I want to know what's left. So you're going to have to subtract 9 minus 5. 9 minus 5 is 4. So the base of this triangle is 4. Okay? Well, that doesn't quite help me yet. So I can see if I can reduce anywhere. I can't reduce 9 and 4, but I can reduce 6 and 9. I can reduce 6 and 9 by 3. 3 goes into 6 twice. 3 goes into 9 3 times. Okay, that still doesn't help me because 3 can't go into 4. So the last resort is bat and ball. So I'm going to do 2 times 4, which is 8. I'm going to divide by 3. So 2 times 4 is 8, divided by 3. So 8 divided by 3. It's not going to go evenly, guys. 3 goes into 8 twice. And I get 6. And I get 2 left over. So my answer here is going to be 2 whole. And I always take a remainder and put it over what you're dividing by. So 2 2/3 is my final answer. 2 2/3 feet. Now, if you did divide it out, if you kept going and adding a decimal, then it would be 2.66 with the line above the 6. So 2 66/100ths, that repeats. Okay. Wednesday's homework. This is what your test should even look like on Wednesday, so you should know how to do this. A floor plan for Mrs. Losey's rectangular living room is shown below. Mrs. Losey plans to lay carpet throughout the room except for the 4 by 3 meter area where her fireplace is located. How much carpet does Miss Losey need to cover the room? Okay, so I have 2 different shapes. I have a rectangle inside of a rectangle. So I'm going to write that first. So I have rectangle, rectangle 1. Now, what am I doing with this rectangle 2? Am I putting it together or am I taking it out? Yeah, I'm not going to put carpet right here. So it's like I'm taking it away. So that is subtracting. So rectangle 1 minus rectangle 2. So look at your formula chart. So looking at my formula chart, I should have area equals base times height. And I'm going to put that in brackets because I got to do all of rectangle 1. And then I can do rectangle 2, which is still going to be the same thing. Area is equal to base times height. So now I do my substitution, my ESS. I've already done my equation. Now I'm substituting. The base is going to be 20 times 15 for the big rectangle. I'm going to do all of this first. Then I want to subtract the smaller rectangle. So area is equal to, the base here is 4 times 3. So area, whoops, I don't even have to put area anymore. I'm not even going to put that. I'm just going to go ahead and multiply that out. 20 times 15. I'm going to put it up here. 15 times 20. I'm going to put the 20 on the bottom because I can pretend that 0 is not there. So do my little invisible 0. I'm just doing 15 times 2. 2 times 5 is 10. Carry 1. 2, 3. Put your 0 back on. So I get 300 minus 4 times 3 is 12. So I actually need to set that up so I can do that. 300 minus 12. So then I had to borrow 1 from that. It became 29 minus 10. 10 minus 2 is 8. 9 minus 1 is 8. So 288. 288 millimeters square is how much carpet it's going to take to cover my living room without my fireplace. Okay, that was it for your homework this week. We'll see you again next week. Thank you.